Hey, welcome to Discard! Today I'm going to talk about a few different ways that you can display your Death Stranding Special Edition. Let's take a look. So fairly recently, Hideo Kojima came out with a game called Death Stranding, and it's an amazing game that mixes a bunch of different types of games together and also kind of breaks its own new ground by connecting people from all over the world in this awesome video game. But right off to talking about displaying this special edition that came out for Death Stranding, the first thing of note is that the box is enormous. And when I say enormous, I mean this thing is super big. This is the biggest special edition that I have in my collection and that I have seen in other people's collections. I'm sure there's something else out there, maybe to fit a tank inside of, but this thing is enormous. So one of the biggest problems with displaying this kind of thing in a game collection is obviously going to be space. So a large box like this may be taking a lot of valuable real estate from other things like your video games themselves or figures or all sorts of different things, and that itself can create kind of a problem. A lot of people like to remedy this by putting the boxes above their shelves, so it's kind of taking up more ceiling space than anything else. This is a beautiful box, so you could use this as something to put other items on top of or put it next to your shelf, and it would be absolutely beautiful. You could take up the real estate from your shelf and have it just sitting there as well. Just realize that you're going to be taking up that space with this kind of empty box. The other thing that's been recommended to me, but I have not tried personally, is breaking down the box. I know some people like to break down these boxes and they put them flat, and that allows them to store them in a closet or behind something, or even use them as posters if the artwork is good enough. This might be a perfect example for that because it has beautiful artwork on it. You could use this as wall art. But getting down and dirty with what actually came in this box, the first thing is another box. And again, we're not talking about something that's super small. This is a very large item that is going to take up quite a bit of space in a game collection. So the inherent problem with that, again, is that it's just large. So you're gonna need to find a place next to a shelf or even store this away. I think I may end up storing this particular piece because it doesn't have any amazing artwork on it or anything on the outside. It does come with a set of like caution tape that's on the inside that I imagine they expected you to kind of wrap around it to make it look a lot like the box that's carried around inside the game. But I don't really want to mess with that tape and mess it up or use it all up, and the box itself is kind of unremarkable. And of course, the special edition did come with a physical version of the video game. It had a awesome Death Stranding Steelbook in there with some amazing artwork on it, and that's awesome. A great way to display that is just putting it on a little easel stand or just putting it into your collection as a whole. It's a Steelbook, so some people love them, some people hate them, but I'm glad that at least this time they did put the name of the game on the spine, because it's been kind of a trend with Steelbook specifically for them to stop doing that. So at least they did that, and the artwork is fantastic, so it's a really cool addition to that special edition. But getting down to the best parts of this special edition, and the creme de la creme, is the BB. And the BB is carried around by Sam Porter throughout his story, and you rock it and you do a lot of things with this baby. He makes it so you can interact with the world in new ways, and it's just really cool. Along with the BB, you get an amazing small little minifigure, and that also will attach to the BB, and that's just like in the video game. You can attach it there and it kind of dangles there as you go on your journeys. But to get to displaying the minifigure, first of all, and getting it out of the way, it actually comes with its own stand, so it can stand alone on any shelf or anywhere that you need him. It's a very small figure, so there's many different places that you should be able to store it and have no problem displaying it anywhere in your collection. It would fit perfectly next to Amiibo or other figures that you have, or kind of as a standalone in a corner on one of your shelves. Now, undeniably, the biggest part of this whole special edition is the BB, and the BB is beautiful figure. You have that baby in there, you have this awesome metal container with this clear container over the top of the BB to make it look really cool and realistic. It looks just like it does in the video game, albeit being very much more clean and taken care of than the one that's in Death Stranding. So the first idea I have for displaying BB is this amazing double-layered acrylic shelf. I found this acrylic shelf on Amazon, and I always like a really good piece of acrylic. And this one specifically, I just wanted to really talk about. The BB is going to look amazing on top of this, and it even has another shelf underneath for putting whatever you want to put down there. You could put the minifigure with its stand and the tape next to it, so you could display the entire special edition all in one spot, or you could put something completely entirely different in that location and it would work great. One of the things I really like about acrylic is that it catches the light, and in this case I have some blue lighting back there and it really highlights it kind of like a neon light would and looks awesome. Acrylic is a great way to display the item as opposed to the actual stand itself. It's going to blend into most of the environments that you have and it works perfect for that, but it's also very professional and a very adult addition to anybody's collection, specifically to display something. Now BB is actually life-size to the video game. It is a very large figure, so this is going to take up a lot of space. So one of the things that I like to do with something that's very large, and instead of just shoving it into the back of a shelf, I like to actually section off a shelf. Now I've talked about it before, but you can take a couple different shelves and turn them sideways and kind of make a little box within your shelf to kind of have a location for BB. And that works really good and gives it its own section while still allowing you to display things in all the other sections of your shelf and have it look really nice and neat and professional. I also think there's a little bit of eclectic value to having kind of odd size shelves throughout your actual bookcase. And I think that looks really cool. It's just one of my personal favorites. Another thing you could potentially do to utilize the larger case that came with this special edition is just by putting it on the ground next to your shelf and then displaying your BB on top of that. It's just a really easy way to kind of quickly make a display for your BB and have it have kind of a context to it. If you do plan to do that, I recommend taking that tape out and using it up. Otherwise, it's just this tape that's going to be sitting inside of your box, and it was meant to be used. I'm sure Kojima wanted you to use it and kind of tape up your box in your own way so you could be part of this awesome world. And into one of my favorite ideas is wall hanging. Wall hanging this BB is perfect. You can take any kind of hook and attach it to your wall. I really recommend getting some of the command strips hooks. That's what you'll see in this video of me using. That makes it so you can easily put this on and take it off and move your BB to different locations. If you feel like one location it's not working out, you don't have to really commit to putting any holes in the wall or anything like that. A command strip will hold up for a very long time and not injure your wall if you're using it properly. But the cool part about BB is he actually has a little handhold in the back, and that allows you to put him on any sort of hook and hanging him in that wall space that potentially you're not using up. I really like this method because it allows you to put him pretty much anywhere and it looks really cool. I have my blue lighting kind of behind him, and here's near a window, and that gives him some new lighting effects. The BB itself comes with its own LEDs inside, so at nighttime this looks really cool hanging from the wall. So I definitely recommend maybe investing in a couple little command strip hooks and utilizing those throughout your collection, not just for your BB, but for a whole bunch of different things that you have in your collection. Now, the last thing that I have today is my favorite idea, and that's these rotating stands that I got off of wish.com. You'll notice in a lot of the videos that I make, I use a very large rotating stand, and those aren't necessarily cheap. But if you go to wish.com, you can find all sorts of cheap stuff, whether it's knockoffs of things or just a poorly made item. It's all on wish.com. And these rotating display stands, I've used them for quite some time now and put them through their paces overnight and throughout many different days, and they seem to work just fine. They make a little bit of a noise, a little bit of a motor noise that is making it so that it is spinning in circles, but they look really great, and they're under $15 each. So that makes for a great value for displaying a ton of different stuff in your game collection. Now BB specifically works fantastic on this because it's about the same size as the base of the BB figure, so it looks like it's supposed to be on this. And it allows you to get all those different angles of this figure. The entire back side of BB is completely designed from the bottom to the top, and there's all sorts of different little levels going on within this figure. So it really gives you that opportunity to see that 360-degree image of the figure, and it's really cool. But this also does come with a couple different features to it. It allows you to adjust the speed on it. It will spin in circles perfectly continuously, or you can make it so it does a certain distance and stops and turns around. So you don't have to commit to it completely spinning all the time. You could just have it angling in a couple different directions and leave it at that. But the best part about having a rotating display in a game collection is that whenever you get a really cool new figure or a new item in your collection, you could just put it on top of this. You could set this on a countertop and continually change out the different things that you're putting onto it. If you're really proud of a new figure that you just purchased, you could put it on there and have it hang out and rotate while you're playing your video games. Now, I will make one note about Wish.com. It is not a website that I trust with my credit card information. I would always recommend using PayPal so that you can get your money back within that 30-day period and have no problems with that. This is a company that is purchasing from a bunch of smaller companies in China that are making knockoffs or cheap items or trying to make a quick buck off of people. And I just wouldn't recommend putting your credit card information into a website like that. Though I haven't heard of people getting their information stolen from this, I recommend using PayPal just to be safe and be careful with what you're purchasing there. But overall, I really like this display stand as just a way to display a whole bunch of different things. And I think it's going to really revolutionize my game collection in a little area where I can display different figures and different things as I pick them up. So I think that's a really cool idea. But thanks for coming and checking out Discard today. If you looked at BB today and said, hey, I know another idea on how to display that in a collection, please let me know in the comments below. I am looking for more ideas on how to display these things, so I really appreciate that. If you want to help out Discard past the subscription, please check out patreon.com/discard and check out all the awesome stuff you can get for $2 a month. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. But otherwise, have a great day and collect what you love.
Sun up, sun down.